Jolly good day, old chaps. Welcome back to RandomCraft. That was loud. Now, I've been flying around the server here, and when I was flying around, I came across this fella here. Now, this guy has been around since Halloween. Now, my question is... who is the cake for? Myself? Or the spider? I'll share with you today, Mr. Spider. Anyways, last episode on RandomCraft, we went crazy and did a collab with Peanut and Creamsicle to get the color ball in order. Now, I, for one, absolutely adore this building, and this was a building I was struggling with quite a while. Came out that I just needed that little bit of extra color. Now, I have big plans for today, including a whole new area in the game, Crystal Fall Descent. Now, let's just fly over here because the last materials I needed should have been delivered by Peanut. Oh, and some cake apparently too. Now this I know is for me. I'm recording this the day before Halloween, so I guess early cake. Thank you. What we need the glass here for? Perfect. Now that sound has actually been going on for a while here, and I know it is not a natural one, because I go outside looking for the Wandering Trader. Why? Because I need Nautilus shells and a whole bunch of other little goodies from them, and they are never around. So I know somewhere in here there is a record disc or something in here. I'll be right back. Well, after a bit of searching, I think I found it. Yep. Okay. I mean, how does this work even? I mean, we're just gonna get rid of it. Okay, with the Wandering Trader sound gone, we don't have to worry about being annoyed like crazy. Also, let's get some cake. And while I'm putting away these materials here, I think I have discovered who was responsible for said prank. I was right. It is Nimrod. I mean, now I don't feel so bad about putting all the feathers in her base and, well, and the giant ink quill and some other things. I mean, the llamas at least can be considered a gift. Wait, these aren't the same llamas, are they? And while I'm here, I did forget to open up this shulker box, which appears to be from Peanut, and I do need the diamonds, so those are always good. Thank you so much, Peanut. Boop. Now, as for what we're going to be doing for the starting bit here, I have some devilish ideas. The other day, I saw Creamsicle going around with this head on, going around to spook people as the ghost horse. Now, I was actually around during that time, and we actually did some fooling around doing some random bits and bobs at people's bases. And I got an idea from that. Now, admittedly, the inspiration for this idea actually came from something Creamsicle showed us, which is this fella. It's like, well, I mean, you're using a skeleton skull, or skeleton skull. Why not make a ghost horse? So I'm gonna get right on that, as we have it trottle on down the streets here. Also, where'd all the horses go? There was like 20 horses I put in town earlier. And there we go. Unfortunately, the servers, or all the servers decided to go down while I was building this, so the replay didn't actually turn out. But here we go. The Spectre Steed. So for this, I just use a couple skeleton horse heads, because Creamsicle seems to like them. Oh, also, what? Hello there. Yeah, I do not like that. Nope. Creamsicle, your base is dangerous. Anyways, because there were so many horses that I put in this base throughout this entire time, and now they're just all gone. I flew by here earlier and noticed that there was not a single horse. Like, I had the bunch tied up here. I know other people were adding some. I had a couple in here after she was finished, but they're already gone. Where'd they all go? So yeah, that Mama horse, ancestor horse, come back to get revenge. And the reason I decided to do this, for the most part, one, because Creamsicle has been putting Halloween pranks at everybody's face last year and a bit this year. I thought I would return the favor a bit. Mwahaha. Plus, I think it looks pretty cool. Fits in with the theme right now. And there is a little bit of a book here. I have a copy. Cream has a copy. Wahahaha. Creamsicle, you have an angry ghost mama after you now. Angry horse ghost. I mean, to be fair, I probably killed more horses than Creamsicle's even seen in the game, so maybe I'm next. Anyways, time for us to get into a time lapse. Now, unfortunately, that recording turned out to be too large to do a proper time lapse on, as it needed several streams and lots of breaks. That was a burnout project. Anyways, we have some friends from the New Year's party, I guess, hanging around the town. Actually, these guys I found underneath my road, more accurately, underneath one of these stairwells here, and was very confused. I know we have a couple of these guys with hats walking around the city right now. I'm thinking that's Enigma's doing. Mostly cause it's the New Year. Now, most of the New Year's decorations were on because I did have to go out for a while, but there's still some remnants of it over here. And yes, I know we started with Halloween, and the same episode, New Year's. That's what happens when I actually decide to take care of myself. And hopefully that means actually, now that I've got things in order, I am actually going to try and set some New Year's goals for getting some stuff done, such as recording and streaming. Also, can we throw those beats on? Boop. I don't know how to do it, so. But yeah, there has been a lot of progress on the city. I don't want to spoil too much, but there is quite a bit of stuff done over in that area that used to be dirt pools that everyone's helping out pitch in with while he's gone. The mountain cleanup event, that is finally done. I know Enigma and Shalin did a huge amount of work, as well as, like, I did this decent chunk over here, and then Enigma and Shalin just came in and absolutely destroyed the rest of the mountain. But with the end of that event there, I needed to calculate points. Now, for the point system, I went with is originally it was supposed to be just for this, a whole shulker box would be of that material would be worth so many points if you wanted to submit it. And what I did instead was also gave them another option here, which is 10 points per chunk, and that turns out to be the big moneymaker, because I forgot how many chunks were in there. But to be fair, it was easier than making everyone pick up every single damn shulker of stone. Which they did anyways. Much to my chagrin. Much to my... Yep. As you can see, lots of stone. Now, with these changes coming in place, and there being quite a bit of progress on that part of the city, we have to start making out some plans and how we're going to do that. Now, me and Creamsicle do have a project that's going to go on that side of the mountain that we're working on, as well as I want to do some collabs with some other randoms, as don't get the opportunity too often. But yeah, over here we have the bonus points. Now, there were some people who were unavailable or had prior commitments and such that didn't really claim any chunks or have time to divert themselves from current projects, which is fine. I was not expecting everyone to commit, and I know people have helped in other ways. Like, I know some people are going to drop off some materials when I need it for the mountains, even though I have most of it, so it's not too much a problem. And then over here we have just a list of what everyone contributed. Like myself, 84 shulker boxes of stone. That's just what I kept. I was throwing things out left and right. And then 46 chunks. That is not even all of them. Those are just the ones of mine that I claimed. A lot of us just gave up claiming chunks because too many heads. And then we have... Shalon did end up giving his chunks, 140-ish, to Cream because she was helping him and he didn't really want the prize. And then we got the Lag, Peanut, Maisie, and then Enigma, who came out on top. Now, we will be giving out the prizes next episode. Creamsicle, third, Peanut, second, and or Peanut, Enigma, and Cream are the top three. My brain is not working on that order right now. But because Maisie and Lag were also so close, I decided to give them decent packages. You'll have to check out their videos if they show it off. But yeah, I decided to give them some gift boxes just as a thank you for helping out and all that. And yeah, 'cause, I mean, they were pretty much all a three-way tie before Shallon gave all the points to Cream. So other than that, it's time to take a look at the game. So we're going to head over there. You can also see there's been a little bit of work that I've been doing on and off. This is from Lag. Lag decided to help me out with the bridge because I was struggling, which I appreciate. But yeah, I've been doing a bunch of planning, marking out some areas, trying to figure out how this road's going to be. City Hall, we'll get into this later. But City Hall has been moved over here from the other side because it fit in a bit better. But anyways, enough of that. We're going to the minigame. Now, while we're here, we actually got this a while ago that I haven't really shown off on camera, and that is from Maisie. This is the first Elytra she gave me. She also gave me one for a Christmas gift, as I might have shown earlier. Just this was during a time where I had to go out and visit family for a while, so I was gone for a couple weeks, and also dog sitting and all that while they went on vacation before that. So it was not something I had time to show off. And now that we actually can see properly, there has been a little bit more progress here as well. I did take out the storage room here as it was no longer as useful as we kept having to fly up through the portal in small gaps. So I will probably just have a resources that I bring over from my main storage system and maybe set up another storage room down below. But instead, this is going to be the entrance, a little bit of a cave entrance that will sneak its way through there and end up around right there, and then have a water elevator that goes down to the Enderway station. So that way people can refill their Ender Pearls, get up and down real quick. Yeah. Other than that, I was working on some of the redstone here. So these are some of the redstone bus lines for the door. Now, I will get into this another episode as I'm still working on the actual one last actual mechanism there. The next step would be, of course, adding in a counter to help randomize when they close so that different ones have higher chances of closing sooner and other ones later. That is a project for another day here, as we got to show off some other progress we have. Now, the first one I'm going to show off here is this, which is technically part of the same deal here. As you can see, this one here is what it looks like when it's closed. There's going to be some armor stands holding these blocks so they look like full blocks, so you can't actually jump over even with Jump Boost 1. Might have to do something if I decide to give them Jump Boost 2, even if that's just some glass. We'll figure that out in the future if anybody has ideas. Who knows? Maybe implement it. But yeah. So that would be closed off. It would look like a normal wall if I can get the redstone down. The other major note here is this shortcut. If you see that this door is closed, you see that the door is closed right in front of you. If you are fast enough, there is a slight delay for another little entrance. Now, this one here is also closed, but this would give you a little bit of time to sneak through. Now, we're just actually we're gonna cheese it here. There we go. And this is another new area. This was originally going to be a bit of a crypt, but I decided to make it just a branch tunnel with that there. I might still put in a couple coffins or something like that down the line. Now we're back at the library. Some of you might be familiar with this from some of the last episodes, but this is essentially the room where we're going to have some phantoms inside. I need to gather up some cats to put in here to contain them into this room. as well as start gathering the wither skeletons, as we want to start playtesting some of the actual mechanics and getting the redstone down. Now, before that, we have the newest addition here. Now, you can see a little bit of sneak peek here, but this is a collapsed part of the tunnel. This is actually underneath the area where the parkour course is up there, so I thought it would kind of make sense to have it collapse like this. I do want to get around with some echo shards and some armor stands to make it look like there's fragments all around the ground of the roof, because the skull does have a nice roof effect. And also maybe have some other hidden secrets down here down the line. Now, as for this, you can obviously see, yes, we have some areas here. Did have to kind of calculate and have them close to candles, otherwise they wouldn't grow, as they need light level 9, which is not too common in this area. But yeah, we have the phantoms, the wither skeletons, and this area is the bog. This is the Midnight Forest. And yes, having bats in here has given me numerous mini heart attacks. Hey, but if it scares me, it's going to scare the others. And that's a win in my book. Now, there would be a one bogged in this little area. As you can tell here, there's some berry bushes that are hidden here as a control mechanism for the skeletons so that they cannot leave their designated areas. This makes it a bit easier to control where they are and the difficulty. For example, this is the rough area that one could travel to, maybe even two, and there would be another one in here. Also, don't tell Peanut, but we do have some friends of hers down here. I mean, to be fair, they're not in any danger or anything. It's not like we have any. Wait, they don't fight Bog, do they? No, they didn't in the testing. But it's not like we have any drowned or anything that will attack them. So yeah, they're fine. They're nice little ambience. They like to get outside. If I can push one out here, they like to get outside and get super hyper and crawl around for a while, which is quite cute. And I think that adds a perfect little ambience for the dungeon. Now, are they going to notice when they're running away for their lives from the bog and skeletons and anything else that might be down here? No, but I do. I get to see them. Well, anyways, enough of that. We also have this other little area. So this is a second elevation of the Midnight Forest. And as you can see here, we have just reused a bunch of the trees concept from the city. Thanks again for Creamsicle for helping me come up with the initial ones. Ouch, ouch, ouch. You did not see that. Not at all. And they just fit so well down here. There are some other things in here as well. Like right here, this forest, this fire here is actually a safe point. As the mobs... Ooh, that might be a problem. I'll have to check that. Oh, yeah, I have a glass pane there. Yep. So this is a safe area, so no skeletons can get in this small little piece here. It has a little bit of food, and there's going to be a other little bit here so that you can have a chance to get some other items. For example, I'll have an armor stand of maybe a dead adventure here. That maybe if you press the button, you can perhaps get some lutations of some kind. That might be just some old rations or something like that. Yeah, but after you escape this area, if you come up here, I still need to get some end crystals and put them up in that area there. And of course there's this guy. Now, since it's already in the new year, since it's already in the new year, I did have some help getting him moved over into the games so that he was not forgotten. And I think it looks quite nice. I am quite proud of this horse skeleton. Now, is that everything in this area? Of course not. We also have this half. Now, the Midnight Forest itself is actually the biggest area inside the dungeon so far, and probably will remain that as the largest room. Now, there are like two safe points here, one here and the other one we just showed you, as well as several other little secrets in this room. For example, one I'm going to show you here is you might see something here. Yeah, you might have seen something, but we'll have some lutations up on some of the mushrooms. How people get up to them, that's for them to figure out. Now, of course, there are other secrets in here. Like, there's one secret in this general area, and there will be hopefully more down the line. I don't have any of the points yet because lodestones are quite expensive, and I've already made several. However, with the update coming up, I'm just gonna wait till we update probably and save myself mining a bunch of netherite. Might go mining for netherite anyways. But yeah, we'll have a couple lutations in. We'll start designing the actual relics and stuff that you come out with the dungeon and how they work. Now, I still have some armor stands in here because I do need to work on a bunch of smaller details in the dungeon. Now, this room here is pretty well done as there's already quite a lot going on. The bats add the perfect ambience. The only thing that this place really needs left is some item frames with the glowing effect, glow frames, whatever they're called, and some nether stars because I want a bunch of them up there. Yes, it's going to be expensive, but with them on the sky, it will give us the perfect midnight forest. Now, I'm not sure how many I'm going to put up there. It only depends on how much I can buy off of Doolin. Now, for a little bit of backstory here, this entire area was originally just a small, broken piece of the Withering Crypt. Until one day, a young apprentice black mage comes down here and notices something. The mana here was tremendous and made her spells so much more effective. Claimed this area as her own after an adventure. However, needed ways to protect herself, and hence erected the tower. Now, after much time, she also brought in some plant life, which eventually became these mushrooms. Now, hundreds of years after said mage has already been long dead, the ecosystem here has evolved tremendously, becoming its own unique environment within the dungeon. What was originally just a small, wet piece of the cavern that had been washed away had become thriving with both life and death. And now it's time to check out the changes over here. Boop. At the City Hall. Howdy, Margaret. Now, now there's been nothing over here to change of late. We have the Jank Mountain teardown, which is actually mountain build, because we have to replace that mountain, and also I still have to tear down my part of the mountain. That one I'll probably do as a TNT thing. The deep slate ore harvest for the pond. That's already gone and done, so I can throw that away. Because we do have some deep slate ores already in the pond. Now, this is the auction area. This is where the deed is coming on. I'm just gonna go through this. You all feel free to read through it. Pause it if you need to. There we go. And set it back to start. Because I'm a decent person. Boop. Now, the deeds that are for sale here, I believe there's only two at the moment, and that is the record. So that would be like the records, which I'm gonna need some for the game eventually with some custom stuff if I can figure that out. Lanterns and chains, redstone build services, landscape terraformer, and elytras and raid. Now these ones here, why I wouldn't mind lanterns and chains, mostly because lanterns can be from villagers and all that, and then the chains are easy enough. But I'm not gonna bid on that because I already have quite a bit going on, and I kind of want the landscape terraformer, which I have done the minimum bid for. For example, that was 16 to start and all that, and then there's the record store. I don't think anybody else has actually bid on anything yet because this was just moved. And then there's mine, which is the snow and ice furniture store, dirt and grass, and then the arborist. Nobody's actually bid on that yet. Or the dirt and puzzle. Now, this was actually originally part of my deed, but it got split off from the overworld stones and deep slate stones. They split it up into additional ones, which is fair. It was a kind of a bit much to all put in one store, which I did eventually start splitting up on its own. The furniture store is what I have decided to bid on because, hear me out, I like barrels, I like anvils, I like all those things, and kind of want to. I use so many of them, might as well start bidding on them. So yeah, those are what I have going on. The snow and ice also was part of my deed originally and got split up. I do know there are some others in backlog that will be done later. And just to yeah, here are my new deeds. So we have the hell fried chicken. We have the overwood. We have overworld wood. So that would be all the woods on the overworld. Plus the nether woods can be sold, but that can also be sold by Grace. And I believe Grace has a new shop in the city park area that now sells the nether wood and some other stuff, which I've already made use of. We have the concrete. We have the upper stone mine, so this would be granite, stone, calcite, all those things. We have sand and gravel, and also sandstones, which I'm actually going to just lump together with this. And then we have the deep slate. So those are our one role play, and then the 5 deeds that are going to add it so that we have to do anything else. So if we want any more deeds, other than the starting bid, I believe, we have to increase it by at least 5 plus 2. So I think it's like 7. If anybody else has had to bid on those. And that's pretty much it for the city hall here. Now that now that we've been on some new deeds and potentially have some more shops in the near future, it is time for us to start going out and mining some diamonds. But I'm not going to bore you with that, so I'm going to head out. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you next time on RandomCraft.